Market is going down a little bit. Is this bad? Is this the beginning of the end? Is this the opportunity to buy the dip? Is this a moment to do absolutely nothing? Let's get into that. What I think is best right here and what to do right now. Welcome to Blockchain Decoded, FOMO Factory. And my name is Menno from Motion. I hope I confuse you enough, and let's get right into the content. Like the video, man. If you like the video, and if you don't like the video, dislike the video. It's all good, man. First, Bitcoin, $115,000. Now, by the looks of Bitcoin, there's nothing bad going on, right? I mean, Bitcoin is in a clear bull market. It has been going up this entire cycle. It went up with an 8x. So far, it's up with a 7.5x. Like, yeah, that's nothing bad. That's nothing to complain about. And in the current correction from when Bitcoin made a new all-time high, it is now down with 7%. All right, 7% down in a bull market is really good, actually. I mean, the people that have been into a bull market before, or that just look back at the charts, right? If you look in previous bull markets, you see moments where Bitcoin goes down with 40%, it went down with 35%, and there were like 7 or 8 of these corrections, and the 7% corrections that we are seeing right now, you cannot even see them if you zoom out, right? So when it comes to BTC, looking perfect, looking good, nothing concerning. If you look at Ethereum right now, perfect as well, actually. I mean, if I see this chart, I'm like, okay, you know what? There is a room for a correction right here, definitely. But let it be, right? Let it be. If you witness such a pump where it goes from $1,300 to 4,700, and you are not taking profit somewhere around this area, then of course dip's gonna suck, right? But if the highest cap and the safest altcoin gives such a return, then take profits, right? And I get that a lot of people didn't exactly buy the bottom, of course, but even without the wick bottom, you could be in pretty decent profits right now, and always take some. Because when I funny, actually, when I shot a video here saying that ETH was a great opportunity, I got laughed at, right? But when I said right here that I was taking some profits, I also got laughed at, because now Ethereum is going way higher. The sentiment counter-traded, really counter-traded. So if you do that, then, you know, this dip is not bad. This dip is not bad. And I'm not buying this, actually, because it is not much. Even if you look at not Bitcoin but Ethereum, from the peak, it is now down with 10%. Look, historically speaking, if you buy every 10% correction, then that's like correction. You cannot spell the word correction without wrecked, right? It's true. And if you buy every 10% correction, then it won't end like well for you, right? So in my opinion, at the moment, it is better to just, like, you know, sit it out, see what it does, right? If it goes down a lot lower, fine, let's buy that real, you know, breakdown, reversal, dip, correction, crash, whatever. But 10%, that's something like, okay, it's a Tuesday, right? Let's ignore that. It's actually Tuesday. So when would I be interested in ETH and therefore alts? And I'm gonna dive into these charts as well. Well, Ethereum was in this downwards trend right here from the peak 2021 bull market, right? Got rejected right here, got rejected right here again, tried again right here, got a rejection, finally broke out. What you typically see is that you get rejection, 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 whatever, breakout, retest, up, right? So in this case, I would say best case scenario in this correction is a retest of this trend line, which is give or take sitting at 4K, 3,900, depends on when we get there. And so that's a level that I would feel like, okay, that would be actually a pretty nice level to buy some if you don't feel like you have enough exposure, and that's down another 8%, right? Apart from that, I also think that this horizontal right here is meaningful, as that was like resistance and support for I don't know how long. right? That's such a huge level. And that doesn't mean that we should go there, right? But it does mean if we do come down, that that level is likely to give support, which comes in at 3,500 bucks at the moment. Right, it's now $4,200. You might say like, oh, we'll never go there. Again, it's 17% down from here. It's not the fucking. It's like it's Ethereum. It's an altcoin. Of course, we could, right? So that's something that I would keep in mind. Yeah. Other than that, if you look at the bull market support band, it comes in at around. Depends on when we get there, by the way, because it's going up pretty fast right now. So that's kind of hard to tell. But when it comes to Ethereum, I honestly expect at least a retest of, let's say, 39.50 in the coming weeks, maybe the rest of August. I don't know. We'll see how fast it can happen today, right? That's what I expect. And what does that mean for altcoins in that case? Kind of depends, of course, how altcoins do against Ethereum. Because if you now look at how alts do against ETH, they are bouncing a little bit, right? But the overall trend, of course, still is not really strong. So if this trend continues, then you would say like, hey, alts get beaten a little bit harder than ETH, right? If this trend of the last couple of days keeps going up, then ETH gets a bigger beating. All with all, I wouldn't like really try to pick a side right there. What I did in one of the latest videos, I said like, I'm gonna sell around half of my Ethereum for alts, and I did. And you know, there was at this level right here, perfect so far, actually. But it's kind of like, hey, this is the bottom of the range, this is the top of the range, right? And now at this level, I feel like, yeah, okay, close enough for a first DCA. And could it go lower? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know, but this felt good for me. So in the longer term, I expect alts to outperform ETH, definitely. In the short term, I don't really know. I don't really know. And I honestly also don't really care, and I don't think that you should too. If we look at the Bitcoin dominance, right, like this actually, although it has a small bounce right now, it looks weak, right? It looks really weak. And why does it look weak? Well, it's in a major downtrend, right? And even though it's up on the week, right, also weak. Although it's up on the week, if you look at every piece of support resistance, it's all resistance right now, right? With this horizontal, which was a strong level since February this year, we broke that. We had this level, which is very strong since October last year, right? And it goes back into the last bull market. It meant a lot right there. We broke that to the downside. We have the 9 weekly moving average. We broke that. We have the bull market support band. We broke that. We have the 50 weekly moving average, which is basically the indicator if something is breaking down or breaking out, right? You could have fake outs, right? Like we had over here. It broke down, but it got right back up. But overall, if you look at that line, if it's above it, then it's a bull market for that asset. If it's below it, then it's a bear market for that asset. We are now below it, the Bitcoin dominance. The Bitcoin dominance is now below it for the 3rd week in a row. And it really has to, it's good, but it really has to move up really hard to this week close above it. So when I look at that, I'm like, okay, whatever direction the market is going, Bitcoin is likely to underperform at this stage, right? Unless it goes up right here and it seems to break this level. Then I think it could go back to the 62-ish, right? 62, 62 and a half. But first, let's see if it could break 60 and a half. You know, that's the biggest level for now. ETH dominance finds some resistance right here, but hey, that's what ETH is doing right now. At every piece of resistance that it has, it finds a short-term correction, and then it goes up. Short-term correction goes up, and in the meantime, it's breaking all these moving averages from below, right? 9 weekly moving average, 50, the bull market support band. So yeah, like short term, it looks a little like it's cooling off. Long term, it is strong, right? So yeah, ETH still likely looks to outperform Bitcoin actually. Now, altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, right? Alt season. Alt season is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. It's looking like this. Again, not yet there, but it's showing some strength right now when it comes to certain moving averages, right? We are above the 9-weekly moving average, above the bull market support band, but the 50-weekly moving average is really our enemy right here. So we have to wait a little bit longer on that one. But overall, I feel like, hey, alt season, right? Altcoins on the Bitcoin pair, it's now green for 2 months in a row. We haven't seen that a lot lately. The last time was actually in November 2023, right? Was 1.5 years ago since that happened. So they are at least relative strong, but it's far from an alt season yet. But then again, like I said before, that's good, right? Like alts on the dollar pair, they're doing quite fine. Of course, it depends on which alt, but overall, they're doing quite fine. While alts on the Bitcoin pair are like, it's this right here, basically, right? Something like that, or this. It doesn't matter really, but when it comes to level, right? If you put it in perspective, I feel like, man, they can do a lot more. They can do a lot more. And if we look at alts on their dollar pair, look, I mean, this is a very controversial or a controversial conservative parallel channel that I've drawn, because it doesn't take the alt seasons really in consideration, right? We had a big breakout right here. We had a big breakout right here. But overall, it finds a lot of support right here, resistance here. And we're now moving like this. And as long as we are moving in this channel, nothing spectacular happens, right? Even if we go to the top of it, that's a 2x from here, basically $1.656 trillion for the altcoin market. But that's still really undervalued, right? So alts are in a slow but steady upwards phase, but not a big breakout yet. Right? Not a big breakout yet. And I think that a lot of people are just going to be taken off guard when that happens, right? Because most people, they don't expect it to happen anymore, right? Like that's why altcoins always goes up. Because people first, like, they stop believing and they sell, they drain liquidity, and then somebody decides to put some liquidity in, and these altcoins go up really hard, and that causes a domino effect, right? Therefore, not believing in altcoins anymore, it's just stupid. It's plain stupid. Especially if you see how much liquidity there is in the market and the insane adoption, right? So therefore, you really don't want to fade it. Doesn't mean, right, that it has to go all up like today or tomorrow. This market cycle has been taking its time, and that's fine, right? But just don't stop believing. It doesn't mean that if something takes longer that it doesn't happen. Like some 30 dirty things, right? If you know, you know. If we look closer at this whole $800 billion level, it's just a big ass resistance, right? It's a big resistance. This, so yeah, we have to break this. But look, again, all these moving averages are now support, right? Here, like, or here, when we tried, like, we had the 50, it was resistance, right? The bull market support band here was resistance. Like, there was so much resistance, and now it's all support. So it looks a lot better than what it did before, right? Even though the prices might not be that much higher, there's more strength right now. Now, again, for me, this is the kind of phase of the market where I would say, like, okay, yeah, you know what? I'm not buying right now. Look, if you look at the individual altcoins, you know, some are down harder than others, right? If you look at a Cardano, right? This is one of these, like, therefore I showed this chart. Total 3, excluding stables. This everything in the top 125, excluding stables, Bitcoin and ETH, right? These are only alts. And they are going up. Why are people still saying, like, no, alts are not in a bull market? Because they are mostly in the wrong alts, right? They are in the lower cap alts for the higher reward, which will come in a risk-on market, of course. But in this market, doesn't really like seem to do it, right? While if you are looking at a Cardano, most boring ass meme coin out there, look, say whatever you want, but it's outperforming all these high reward coins, right? While the risk is also lower. So I'm just saying, looks pretty good actually. Looks pretty good. It's barely down. But if you look at coins that are down more, it depends. Like OXO, I don't know if anything specific happened, but this is just a low cap, new speculative altcoin, like either 20x or 0, right? But if you look at the wilder world, right, this thing has been going up really hard, and therefore it now takes a little bit more of a beating than the average altcoin. From the recent local top, it's now down with 19%, right? Black, I wouldn't even buy it if I was you. Like, I like farming it, but the emissions are so high. This coin, unless something really changes, is designed to go down. So this will be going down forever, I think. But yeah, look, maybe a little harder than others, right? But if you look overall, near, right? If you look at this, and near is down with 17%. And AVAX from that recent local top is down with 10%. If you look at a Dogecoin, it is down with 14%. If you I don't know, look at a render, something like that, probably 14%, right? Yeah. Look, it's not like enough for me to say, like, let's buy the dip. Like, no. You know what kind of dips to buy? There are two dips to buy. I'll show you. One dip to buy is, for example, Altora, right? In hindsight, right now it's not cool to do anymore. But Altora had such FUD, and the the market cap, man, it went all the way from what in the 150, 60 million to like 5, wrecked, right? Wrecked. But from this 5 million, 4 even, it shot up all the way to like 30 million again, right? If something is down like really fucking hard, then it feels scary, but most people already sold, right? So there's less downside risk than something that's not down a lot, right? Then you might want to take your chances, actually. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it's actually like that, and therefore it's down that much. And with Altora, I thought it was dead, to be honest, right? But it's a good example right now. That's some kind of a dip that you can buy. Or you buy the dip, right? I created this meme coin. The community is going strong. We bonded on Bank Fun within 3 hours. It shot up from a 6K to $180,000 market cap, and now it's kind of stabilizing, Jesus, at 60, 70K. Like, it's nothing. It didn't do any promo, so it's like, what the fuck are these numbers, right? But I thought it was quite funny. People tell you to buy the dip. Okay, now you can buy the dip. So do check it out on CoinGecko. Got listed right there. You'll find the Twitter right here, and they're still updating Telegram. But yeah, I thought it was quite funny, actually, that you can now buy the dip. Other than that, I would say, like, I don't want to make it longer than it needs to be. This is the type of moment in the market where you just simply want to, like, wait. Sometimes the best trade is no trade. And in this case, it is no trade, right? So if you are not scared at lows, right? I noticed it a lot lately. Like, a lot of people, they honestly get creeped out if something goes down really hard, which is normal. But then again, if you buy that, then you have the opportunity to take profits whenever the pump comes, because, of course, the market goes not only down, it also goes up, right? So if you then have some cash extra, you are now probably in a position where you feel like, okay, I can write it all up if the market goes up, and if it goes down further, I can buy that dip again. So either way, you're good, right? That's in my opinion, in my experience, the only position that will make you make money, right? Not by being all in or all out. Like that doesn't work, right? Apart from the fact that you have to get really lucky, your emotion is probably gonna fuck it up at some point if that's the case. So I would say best trade is no trade at the moment. Just wait a little bit. Actually, if I would have to give a conclusion about the market right now, some people would say it's going down. I would say nothing is happening at the moment. Nothing. It goes up 8%. It goes down 8%. It like if you look at the previous cycles where that happened, eventually, if you zoom out, nothing happened, right? And that's what we are now in. So wait for a big move and anticipate on that. So far. Thanks for watching. Blockchain Decoded is coming out really soon. The only platform that basically you will need in order to find out if you should buy, should sell, what to buy, what to sell. Insane. It's going to be epic. So stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Don't get wrecked. Let's make some money together so we can have a digital party at some point. Will be really cool. And I'll see you guys in the next one.